Financial inclusion are critical factor for the growth, and in India, for growth we need to adopt bottom-up approach, and for bottom-up approach, regional rural banks are the perfect example for it. Hello friends, welcome to the Economy Primer series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's session is about regional rural banks. And regional rural banks acts as an investment vehicle for the remote areas, for the marginalized people. So that's why we have chosen this topic, and this topic is important from GS 3 perspective. So moving towards the points of discussion part. First of all, we are going to discuss that why this topic is into the discussion. Then we'll have a brief intro about regional rural banks. Then we'll also discuss its functions. Then issues related to the RRBs, and we'll also discuss how are RRBs being reformed by the government, and then practice question for prelims and mains. So moving towards the discussion part. So here we have taken cutouts of the newspaper. Finance Minister asked regional rural banks to focus on flagship scheme. Regional rural banks merger unlikely to happen in current financial year. Regional rural banks mergers exempted from CCI approval. Regional rural banks with rupees 300 crore net worth will be allowed to the list. So what all these cutouts say is that a reform is needed in the regional rural bank sector, and also we need to improve its networks. So that's why this all cutout says that this topic is relevant, and we have chosen this topic because in prelims examination and in mains also question can erupt from this area. So it's very important to know about the regional rural banks. Moving on to the introduction part, which is what are the regional rural banks? So first of all, regional rural banks are government owned scheduled commercial banks, and it fulfills two kinds of the needs. First is the banking facility and second the financial facilities. So in that way it provides banking and financial facilities to the rural areas, to the remote areas, and to the marginalized people, and to the farmers, to the manufacturing based people. So this is the main job of the regional rural banks. Coming to the original story, that from where it has been originated. So in 1975 we have this Narasimha committee, and Narasimha committee has given this recommendation that there should be the establishment of the regional rural banks, and on the basis of that recommendation we have seen that there is an RRB Act in 1976, and also we have seen the Pratham Gramin Bank, which has been established as the first regional rural bank of India on 2nd October 1975. So when in the prelims examination question will come that when we got our first regional rural bank and what is its name. So the name is Pratham Gramin Bank, and it has been established on 2nd October 1975. Moving towards the functions part. So what are the functions it plays? So first of all, we already know that it provides banking facilities to the rural areas, and also it acts as dispersal of wages for the Manrega policy and other policies. In the intro part, we have already discussed that Finance Minister has urged the regional rural banks to work on the flagship scheme. So this is the scheme, and also they provide other facilities just like locker facility, internet banking, and other financial facilities like mobile banking, debit and credit cards. So these are the main job of the regional rural banks, and they also grant credit facilities to the people who don't have much access to the credit line. So in that way they provide credit to the farmers, artisans, and the people who are involved in the small jobs, and they also deposit money in the regional rural banks. And who regulates the regional rural bank? So it is regulated by the RBI, but it is supervised by the NABARD, which is the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. And who have ownership of the regional rural banks? So we have joint ownership for regional rural banks. So we have three ownership. The first is the Government of India, the second is the sponsored bank, and the third is the concerned state. So suppose that there is any regional rural bank in the Bihar. So the 50% is owned by the Government of India, 35% is owned by the sponsor bank, and the 15% is owned by the Government of Bihar. So this is the function of the regional rural bank. Moving towards the next slide, which is issues related to the regional bank. So first issue is the rising cost. So the rising cost of operations of regional rural banks become a very crucial in discussion of the regional rural banks, and because of the rising cost and they don't provide much benefit, and because of that we can see that they just shut off the regional rural banks and they are not working very efficiently. On the other hand, we have also limited activities. So many of the rural banks have not provided much activities, and which prevent people to enjoy all those activities and enjoy all those facilities. So in terms of that also, they have the limited activities, they have the limited facilities. And the most important factor in today's era is low internet banking. So at present only 19 RRBs have internet banking facilities and only 37 have mobile banking licenses. So in today's digital world, we need to more focus on digitization. So these are the loopholes in terms of the regional rural banks, that among all regional banks only 19 have the internet banking facilities. So this is a very matter of concern in terms of the regional rural banks. So because of that we have these challenges, and also we have these challenges that government has this regulation that they will provide internet banking to those banks who have CRR of more than 10%. So this is also one of the challenges, that government has put regulation in terms of the internet banking and other banking, and right now internet banking, mobile banking is need of an hour, and digital India and digital world is need of an hour. So it's very high time that we need to link all these banking facilities to the internet. Moving to the next slide, which is how are RRBs being reformed by the government. So the first step the government of India has taken in this regard is the nationalization of bank, and also in 1981 there was the establishment of NABARD, so National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So as the name suggests, agriculture and rural development, so they regional rural banks works under the supervision of the NABARD, and they ensure that there should be the effective functioning of all the regional rural banks. So the establishment of NABARD has helped a lot into this direction. And also the government is providing roadmap for 22 RRBs which is expected to be the implemented. So they are wanting that there should be the merger of regional rural banks, so that will not have much small branches, will have a merged branches, so that it can function effectively. And if any branch has a good resource in terms of any other factor, so they can merge together and they can collaborate and they can effectively work. And the government had also contributed to rupees 4,084 crore towards the recapitalization, and this data has been changing in the year 2022 to 2023, and government has invested around more than 10,000 crore on the recapitalization. So these are the reforms which has been taken by government of India to reform the regional rural banks. Moving towards the next slide. Next slide is about PM Mudra Yojana, and the first statement is it was launched on 8th April 2015, and the second statement is it offers 3 types of loans. So first of all, you need to know what kind of offers it loans, and also how many types and what are the types and what are the criteria for each type. So you need to know about this thing, and here they are asking the not correct statement. So kindly answer in the comment section. Moving towards the mains question, what are regional rural banks? Discuss the government of India suggestions to them. So first of all, what you have to do, that you have to briefly define that what are the RRBs, when it got established, then you can also write down that in which recommendation it got established, and then coming to that government of India suggestions to them. So government of India has suggested that they need to work on the flagship scheme, and government of India had also suggested that they need to work more on the digitization, then awareness towards the banking facilities in the rural areas. Then there should be the workshop for the regional rural bank employees and also for the people, that how they can avail facilities from the regional rural bank. So workshop is needed. And government has also launched various initiatives so that net worth of each regional rural bank can be improved. So these are the government suggestion to the regional rural bank, that you need to promote your banking facilities and how to digitize, because digital world and internet bank is today's need of an hour, and if you are not connected to it, then you are missing so much big opportunity in towards this. So these are the factors which government of India has suggested. And also we have other suggestion, like we need to have a integrated programs and integrated guidelines for all the regional rural bank, so that they can work in a uniform manner and they should be the administration in the uniform manner. Also, government should not put regulation like net worth of or CRR should be more than 10%. We should avoid such kind of avoidance and implementation by the government of India, so that each bank will have that freedom, so that they can raise their funds from all these facilities. So kindly like, share and subscribe to Drishti IAS English channel. And if you have any queries related to this channel or any queries related to this course or particular session, you can kindly comment in the comment section. If I hope you like this lecture, and do revise all your economy lectures with the economy primer series. Thank you.